Welcome back, Flight Sim fans. I've got another video for you, and check it out. Look what I'm flying here, or I'm going to attempt to fly. An FA-18 Hornet fighter interceptor, probably the primary combat jet that the United States Navy, Army, I think it's a multi-purpose, all the divisions have it. It's awesome, I think. I don't know. Well, I'm partial to the old Tomcat from the old Top Gun days. I think that looked like one of the coolest planes ever, but this is what they're flying these days. This is the carrier tutorial. They just kind of teach you how to take off and land on a carrier. And I'm on some gigantic nuclear-powered aircraft carrier here. This plane is beautiful. The vistas are beautiful. And what we're going to attempt to do is fly around and make a landing on this bad boy and hopefully not crash and burn. Because remember, I've got my difficult settings all the way to full. So let's start up these engines and we're going to get rolled out to the catapult. Oh yeah, should be able to hear it. I like that sound. Let's listen to this. Oh yeah. Turbines spooling up. Man, this deck is really shaking. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that both engines are running, release the brakes and ease the throttle forward very slightly. With two high-thrust engines, it doesn't take much to get moving. Taxi to one of the two catapults on the bow of the carrier. We'll fly a left-hand traffic pattern. The standard VFR pattern from a carrier is flown at 600 feet and 150 knots. But in this tutorial, we'll fly it at 2,000 feet and 200 knots to make it a little easier.
All right, so he gave us directions. I'm not going to follow any of it because I've practiced this a bit before, and it's no fun. I mean, you got a Hornet, and we're going to listen to him? Nah. We're just going to do
when you're near a
whatever
catapult,
the hell we want.
Lower the launch bar with the controls in the cockpit. Then press Shift-I to attach and arm the catapult. Be sure the brakes are off. Lower the flaps to takeoff position by pressing the F7 key once.
All right.
When you're ready to go, advance the throttles to full military power.
Got it, man.
You don't need afterburner to take off using the catapult.
Okay, let's watch this.
Press Shift Spacebar to launch.
Okay, the guy gives so many directions. Okay, flaps are down. So when you're on this thing, what you got to do is basically arm the landing bar, which kind of attaches you. I think it's you gotta press Shift. Excuse me, Shift-I. Right. Let's see. Or Shift-U. There you go. And then Shift-I kind of grabs you onto that thing. So Shift-U to drop that little thing in front of the wheel. Shift-U to drop that thing in front of the wheel, and Shift-I to do the assist. I guess they just put you in the right place. Now is the fun part. So this is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to try to take off from this view because it looks really probably way cooler than normal, right? And if I fall off the end and die, you know, we'll make a comeback. So here we go. We're going to give it some juice. Oh, she wants to go. You want to see the afterburners? This is really cool. Boom. Oh, let's not do that. All right, we're at pretty much full military. Okay, Shift Spacebar, and we're gonna be launched off this thing. Here we go. Boom. Oh, pull up, pull up, pull up,
pull back
pull
on
up.
the stick and climb away
Okay, we're
from
good.
the carrier.
Gear up.
Climb to 2,000 feet. Don't exceed
Flaps
200
up.
knots.
All right.
Raise the flaps.
Got it. We're in.
Turn left to a heading of 200 and enter a downwind leg parallel to the carrier.
We're gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff.
On downwind, you should be level at 2,000 feet, flying at 200 knots.
All right, you wanted 200 knots. We're not doing 200 knots. Come on, let's get way up on this thing. Look at this thing climb. 25 degree.
Descend to a pattern height of 2,000 feet for this tutorial.
Okay, got it. We're here to have fun, my friend. We're here to have fun. This thing handles, you know, probably...
Slow down to 200 knots.
Oh, God.
Use the speed brake to slow down.
No need. We're just gonna see what we can do. Oh, this bad boy is amazing. Let's take a look. Wow, check that out. Check that out. There's a carrier group. This thing is beautiful, guys. Look at this. Wow. Oh, it's like a Porsche. Wow, wow, wow. Alright, so should we go buzz the carrier deck? You think I can do it without crashing? I know the purists are going to hate me for this, but this is what we're going to do. So, we are moving on this downwind leg. I mean, at the end of all this, I have to somehow try to land this thing too, right? So that's going to be tough, but we have to find our little
Stretching
group.
across the deck are 4 cables that the tail hook can hook onto.
So where was it? Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Descend
There
to
it
a
is.
pattern
Okay.
height of 2,000 feet for this tutorial.
Oh man, the only...
Slow to 250 knots before lowering
Guys,
the
the
gear.
only-
Don't flare on landing. Just fly the aircraft directly
Yes,
onto the
yes.
deck in a tail-low attitude. Don't let your descent rate exceed 700 feet per minute, or you might damage the landing
Okay.
gear.
So he gives a lot of instructions, and obviously we're not following any of it, so I apologize for that in the video. I knew it was going to be tough to do this one because there's a lot of instructions, and it is in your best interest to follow it all. Oops, sorry. Otherwise you could get into some big trouble. And this is not easy. Trust me, landing on that deck is not easy, and I'm going to see if I can do it in one shot. But
Extend the gear.
before we do
Lower
that,
the flaps
we're
1
going to
notch
give this
for the
guy
approach.
a buzz by.
Lower the
There it
tail
is.
hook by pressing Shift Q. Adjust power to maintain 170
Oh, he
knots.
actually thinks I'm coming for a landing now. Nope, nope, nope. Problem is, the carrier guy, the deckhands, they're going to start talking to me now. So that's coming up, but this is going to be dangerous. I'm going to try to do a flyby of that tower without crashing somehow. And I'm going to try to give you guys an outside view. So this is probably more challenging than the landing itself right now. Here we go. This is Maverick coming by. Oh crap, oh crap. No, that wasn't too good. That wasn't too good. Oh, let me get back inside. Wow, wow. 416 knots. Okay, let's not do that again, huh? Let's just bring this bad boy in for a landing. Let's get prepared for this. Carrier is probably right behind me. Right, that it? Nope. I don't think that was a carrier, but we'll find it. Alright, let's check this out. Oh, this plane is so beautiful. It's so nice to be flying something that, you know, reacts instantaneously. And look at this beautiful ocean. This game is 10 years old. You gotta be kidding me, man. See, the classics work. You don't need a lot of crazy stuff. There's a carrier. Okay, that's good. We're on a good leg here. Should be able to come around, loop around, and go for this landing. Yeah, but what a great job, right? I mean, is this dovetails work? Did they add any extra textures and things? But I don't know. For an old game, I think it's pretty impressive looking. Maybe I don't have like a, you know, high expectations about games these days anymore, but this thing looks, to me, it looks gorgeous. I love it. I think the environments are spectacular. Carrier's still there. Okay, we need to drop a lot of altitude, by the way. I'm gonna start banking now. Let's see if we can't get into position. Speed is okay. We're about 230 knots. One thing this plane you have to do, and especially for the landing, I noticed is the throttle. You have to be constantly playing with the throttle. There's no such thing as let me just leave it here and fly. It has to be constantly manipulated, otherwise you will not be successful. And it's just one of, and the good thing is it reacts instantaneously. Well, not instantaneously, you know, it's there. It's not like the Bombardiers and the Airbuses.
Make a 180-degree
good.
turn to the left and line up for landing.
All right.
The landing signal officer will give you some guidance on final if you need it.
Okay.
Wave off means you're not in position to land.
Where's the carrier?
Bolter means you missed the cables.
Still got time.
In either case, add full thrust, go around and try again. If you trap a cable, the LSO will tell you which one and will announce that the deck is red, unsuitable for landing by other aircraft.
All right.
Adjust power to maintain 170 knots.
Okay, so I think we're doing okay in terms of bleeding power. The only thing I'm worried about is my altitude at this point and lining up. So let's... No, you know what? I think we're in good shape. I think we can manipulate this at this point with the throttle. I'll be opening up the flaps. One thing that's cool, if you want to see the speed brake on this bad boy. Oh shit, I opened the gears. Did not want to do that, but you know, it might be time. Might be time. Okay, let's do the gears, and I wanted to show you the speed brake. There's this huge wing on the back that comes up. Look at this. Boom. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's get back in. Okay, there's a carrier. So what are we at? 1,000 feet, 150? We're pretty much exactly where we need to be. So here's where it gets very tricky. You have to be Shift Q. Sorry, I'm going to do this before I forget. Shift Q drops the tail hook. Tail hook down, gear down. We're ready to go. Now, that little angle of attack thing on the left of my HUD, you see it's a yellow ball right now. That means they like my speed. So you see that green on top? When it's yellow like that, speed is good.
Remain above 1,000 feet until you're on a 2-mile final. You're landing on the angled deck, so you need to be to the right of the carrier as you approach. The carrier is heading directly into the wind. To land on the angled deck, you need to compensate for the crosswind. You should be able to see the top of the deck throughout your approach. If you can't see the deck, you're too low. Adjust power to maintain 150 knots.
Yeah, we're doing that, but we're going to bring out flaps now, one set. Alright, so the way you manipulate your speed coming in for a carrier landing should be by using your pitch angle, and that's what that thing on the left is telling you. See, I'm going way too fast, so they actually want me to pitch up. That's what that means, to drop speed. So as you climb, you'll lose, but I don't want to climb because I need to approach that thing. So I need to go full flaps at this point. I think I should be okay. So when that, when you see the green on top, you need to speed up. That means pitch down. But right now, my speed is too fast.
Lower full flaps and maintain 130 knots.
Yeah, so I'm coming down to 135, so I'm good. Now this is where the constant
adjust power to maintain 130 knots. Slow to 130 knots for the final approach.
God damn. Okay. This is where you gotta keep playing with the power. And you definitely don't want to come in too low, because that is super embarrassing. And you'll destroy the deck, I think, and yourself. The other issue I've been having... I'm fast, okay. The other issue is I keep...
355, 3/4 mile. Call the ball.
I keep failing after landing.
The ball is the yellow indicator on the visual landing system on the left side of the flight deck. If the ball is higher than the row of green lights, you're too high. If the ball is lower than the green lights, you're too low. If the ball is red, you're dangerously low.
Give it some elevator pitch. This is pretty much it. Speed is a little fast, but I'll be okay. Let's see. This could be a problem. This is a problem. Boom. Nose hit. Fuck. Excuse my language. This is what keeps happening to me. Alright guys, I'll be back. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can make this one.
For the final approach.
130 knots needed. Headed down to that. Doing alright, 136, 135. So many screw-ups so far. This is really not an easy landing.
You're slow.
The funny thing is, too slow. Wow, whoa, I just dropped to 120s. So this is why you gotta really keep an eye on that.
Call the ball.
You gotta keep an eye on that speed. You gotta play with the throttle all the time.
The ball is the yellow indicator on the visual landing system on the left side of the flight deck. If the ball is higher than the row of green lights, you're too high. If the ball is lower than the green lights, you're too low.
Oh,
if the ball is red, you're dangerously low.
I don't know. Oh, this is, I think I'm coming in a little high. If I... Trouble.
You're high.
Not happy with this one. Not happy with this one. What's gonna... Did I hook? Whoa, no. Run. Yes.
You missed the wires. Apply full thrust and go around.
You're fast.
That's what I did. Yeah, I'm fast. Of course I'm fast. I gotta get out of there. Alright, gear up. Oh boy, here we go. We're coming in.
Adjust power to maintain 130 knots. Slow to 130 knots for the final approach.
Don't worry, we're not landing like that. Fast. Don't worry, I'm slowing down. We got full flaps.
355, 3/4 mile. Call the ball.
Alright.
The ball is the yellow
Power.
indicator on the visual landing system on the left side of the flight deck. If the ball is higher than the row of green lights, you're too high. If the ball is lower than the green lights, you're too low. If the ball is red, you're dangerously low.
Alright, so we gotta keep playing with the power. Let's stick it to the deck this time. Let's stick it to the deck.
Trap, one wide.
Trap,
red deck.
stay. Oh my god.
Great
Oh
landing.
my god.
Raise the tailhook to release
Thank
from
you.
the cable.
Okay, guys.
If you'd like to practice more carrier landings, try
shut the
flying the carrier practice mission.
Okay, I think he's done. I have a confession. That was about my 6th attempt at that. I had all kinds of various accidents. There's no way I'm going to show you all of them. Basically, the bolter that I kept in, the previous one, that was like the 3rd attempt, and then this was the 3rd one after that. So this is not an easy mission. It's very frustrating sometimes when you can't get it right, and it's hard to tell sometimes what the problem is. It's just that nose dives in so deep. But we did it finally. I hope you guys had fun. It's a really fun plane to fly, and it's frustrating, but you want to keep at it. You just want to keep practicing. And you get it. And when you get it, you're so happy that the ship is alive, deck is not damaged, and everything is good. All right, guys. Till my next flight video, have fun out there.